Hi guys, just a really quick jump on making a video just to talk about primers, how important they are in your makeup routine, like what they are and what they do. So today I'm going to be using the Motives Complexion Perfection Face Primer, and this has a formula that targets pores, fine lines and wrinkles, and it visibly reduces any imperfections just to really give an even looking skin tone, and then preps your skin and it's primed and ready. It's also oil free. Its smoothing formula extends the life of your foundation and it gives a really perfect flawless look. So why do you actually want to use a face primer? So it basically creates a barrier between your skin and then the makeup that you're going to put on it, and it just prevents the makeup clogging up your pores and settling in to any of the fine lines that you have on your face as well. So it also makes your makeup stay on longer, look fresher for longer throughout the day, because it absorbs any oils that the skin might be producing, because it's creating that barrier, and then obviously if you don't have that barrier, the oils will cause the makeup just to wear off too quickly, so you're not going to get that long lasting effect that you want from your makeup. So we need to talk about how you're going to apply this. So it's unlike when we do our skincare. So when we do our skincare, and I'm just going to show you how much, you don't need a lot, because remember how big your face is, and a little goes a long way. So I'm literally, hopefully you can see that, that's how much I'm using, and I'll just do that, and if I need a little bit more I can always add a little bit more, but it's better just to start small, just so you're not wasting any product. So yeah, as I was saying, when it comes to skincare, you want those products to be really sinking deep into the skin and getting right down in those layers, so obviously they can work their magic. But with a primer, we're creating a barrier, and that's between the skin and all that wonderful skincare that you've just put on, and then the makeup that you're going to put on. So yes, we want to put it on the face, but we want to be a lot gentler with what we're doing, and then we're going to target some problem areas by pushing it into the skin. So you're not going to slap it on like a moisturizer and rub it all over and rub it in. You want to like really target some areas. So if you have like open pores, you don't want your makeup to settle in, so make sure you're popping the primer in there, and you can just really gently start there and push out, and then you can go into that eye area and smooth the product out over the face. So remember, you're creating a barrier between the skin and then the makeup. So I just kind of start from the other side as well, and I'll start with those pores, and then I'll work out and I'll go to the under eye area, and then I'll push out into the skin. Okay, and then the same again with the forehead. So you might have some fine lines on the forehead, so don't rub it in, you can start to like pat it in, because then you can get the barrier up. So as you can see, I'm being quite gentle with it. I'm not being like super like rubbing it in, and I have actually run out, so I just need a little bit more just to do a couple more areas. So I've just done another small amount. So remember, you can just keep doing small amounts until you feel like your face is covered. So I'll get my chin as well, don't forget your chin. So you pop that on, and remember, you're just kind of smoothing it over, you're not pushing it in too hard. And then I always find that your nose, it doesn't really hold makeup quite well. I don't know whether it's just me, it might just be me, but I find that my nose doesn't really hold makeup particularly well, so I will kind of put a little bit extra on here, and I'll rub it into those corners, because that's where a lot of oil can be produced as well. So make sure you're kind of like creating that barrier, so it's not going to cause that makeup to run off your face. And then any little extra bits, I'll just kind of like pop around at the sides, make sure I've got every bit covered. And then I will kind of pay attention to the under eye with any that I've got left over, because here you might get some fine lines and wrinkles, and that's where your makeup is going to settle in. So with the under eye and the primer, I'll kind of just push it into this area and really get that barrier up. And I'll do the same on the other one. Now with the eyelid, I don't use this primer on the eyelid. I'll use a specific eye base for that, because obviously that's where you want to be holding the colour and the pigmentation, so that's a different product. But when it comes to the primer, that's that's basically it. You don't want to be rubbing it in too much like a moisturiser and doing that massage that I've spoken about before. So unlike other primers, this is really light to the touch. It doesn't feel thick, it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. Like even if you're not doing any makeup, you could pop a primer on as a barrier. If you're just going out and you don't want to put too much makeup on, you could just use your primer and that's it. You don't really need much else. So if you think about if you've got any open pores, fine lines and wrinkles, then you can stop the makeup from settling into those areas. And once that's on, that's done. And then you're ready to start putting your makeup on. So I'll always say, like with a primer, just let it sit on your face. Like, try not to go too quickly with all these different stages. Like, do your skincare, let that settle. Do your SPF, let that settle. And then put your primer on and let that kind of really settle before you put your foundation on. So you're really creating that barrier and just kind of push it onto the skin rather than rubbing into the skin, if that makes sense. And you can just pat it into any problem areas, which you know you're going to get a bit of oil production as well, and onto the nose where it doesn't stay on my face for some reason. So I hope that's helpful. Primers, there's so many out there that you can be using, but if you need any advice on primers and different types of primers for your skin type, or if you've got any problem areas that you want to target, obviously just ask any questions.